So I used to hear when you're pregnant, you should be eating for two. But after doing some research, I actually found out that you should only be consuming around 100 to 150 calories on top of what you're currently eating while pregnant. Is this true? And why is it important to eat healthy while you're pregnant?
Yeah. So I know that's like the biggest myth. A lot of people are like, "Oh, I'm just gonna eat two." So then they're gonna order a bunch of crap. No offense. Sorry to the women out there. And I know you guys all have the cravings and everything like that too. Like be like the ice creams, the extra French fries, this. They just finish having a meal. They want more. And this is, every now and then, okay, it's great, it's okay, but you should not continue doing this. And the reason being is that it puts you at a very, very high risk of getting something called gestational diabetes. Yes, yes, yes. Very, very scary word. The diabetes, once we hear it, it can happen to anyone, when they're when they're or during their pregnancy. And they get this is because they have an overflow of insulin and glucose within their system. And basically, what that says is they're over consuming in food, both in carbs specifically, that your body can't handle it. So that causes, number one, puts a lot of harm on yourself, mommy, and as well as on the baby. So what it does for the mom, it just puts the mom now in a high risk pregnancy. And what that causes for the mom, you have to go for a lot of more frequent tests, making sure that your blood sugar is good, but that's also affecting your baby, right? Now your baby is at a high risk for developing type 2 diabetes once they're born, possible birth defects, and just a high risk of heart issues and a whole bunch of other things too as well. After you deliver the baby, the mother is still subject to a higher risk of developing. The mom is that, as let's say if you're eating a lot and you're eating for two, you're eating for three, why not? Do it, take advantage, right? I'm taking advantage. I'm prego. Okay. So what that ends up happening is that you are putting yourself at a higher risk, which is now going to cause you to be at a higher risk for getting a C-section. Okay. Having a C-section, okay, if you have to have a C-section, if you had it before, you're always going to have it, right? Think about it. It's a major abdominal surgery. Not to scare anyone, that isn't you don't want to have abdominal surgery. It's a major abdominal surgery. You have a higher risk of bleeding once you have gestational diabetes. So you want to avoid all of that. And the scary thing about all this is that all the symptoms from gestational diabetes are asymptomatic. And what does that mean? That you don't feel anything when you're pregnant. You just feel normal. You're just eating a lot, and the baby's growing. Oh wow, I'm very, very big, and people might assume you're having twins, but you're only having one. The main thing is you're only going to be able to diagnose it through blood work, and the doctor's going to be able to do all that, all your blood work, checking your blood sugar, the whole nine too. And I'm going to tell you how you can reverse it because it is reversible. Everything is through a lifestyle approach, okay? Making sure that you are still prioritizing your protein. You want to not limit your carbs, but you don't want to go crazy. Again, you're not eating for two. You don't want to put on too much weight while you're pregnant. For everyone, it's very, very different. Okay. If you're very, very petite, yes, you're going to put on a little bit more weight because, you're feeding that second baby. If you're extremely overweight, you actually don't want to put on too much weight while you're pregnant. So, and if you're within that healthy range or that middle range, again, only anywhere between, I think, like 20 pounds or so is 20-25 pounds. If you're a little bit more on the lighter side, you're going to put up a little bit more weight. If you're overweight, you actually want to only gain between 10 to 15 pounds. But again, it will vary from person to person and depending on any other comorbidities that you might have. Okay. And then lastly, the other thing that you can do to it as well, which is super important, is working out. Okay. Working out is only just going to benefit you. It's going to benefit your baby. It's going to give you more blood flow to your baby, as well as going to help you process all that food. So you're getting in all those nutrients, all those great endorphins, giving it to your baby. So that wraps up gestational diabetes. I know we're very afraid when we hear the word diabetes, and yet it's a word that you should not be playing around with, and you should take it very, very serious. Again, too. Again, not saying that you can't have fun while you're pregnant. Like you can still enjoy foods out there, but don't go overboard eating for two. Again, control like what we always do too is eat like you were eating before. Eat healthy, eat healthier if you can. More dark leafy greens, again, more for that folic acid, that folate. Again, you want to have a lot more healthier fats. Again, that's going to help out with your baby's neurological function, as well as your protein, because it's going to help you build more muscle, because you can still build muscle while you're pregnant, and that muscle is going to help you out while you're pregnant, building out your placenta, building out the amniotic fluid, the amniotic sac, everything from all that is going to be going to the baby. So think about it, the investment that you want to be putting onto your baby.